Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Yanker and the Psych Investigators.
Hello.
Okay, so guys, so just to tell you, I did post that I've still have the day was like such a crazy day. I haven't had a minute really to stop, but I have to finish the research. I have all the information, but not so unfortunately not today. I'm not gonna talk about it today, but tomorrow I'm gonna work on it to the day, so you have it. Uh, okay. All right,
Mhm.
so that's that. But I asked Karina to meet a little bit later today than usual, than like lately, because of this. But then I told her there's so much going on that we have to talk about it, even if
Yeah.
this part is delayed. And so and so we're going to talk about it. So this, guys, I'm gonna pause here. Blah, 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 blah. There's so much going on, but the news about the plane crash, I just had a terrible feeling about it. And then you see the things that Trump is saying, and
Mhm.
then and then they're fired. It seems like I'm not a fear monger, of course, but it's just it's a darkness. Interesting. Usually I try to Corinne and I, right? We try to avoid Corinne, right? Like the whole
Mhm.
we don't want to deal with it. But this feels like we have to talk about it. I'm not afraid actually. Normally I'd be like, oh, it's so dark, it's this that. But it's the thing, it's like the evil. It's like I can't believe it's almost like I can't believe we're living it, Corinne. I can't believe this is the
I
guy
know.
president, quote unquote.
I know.
Believe
Exactly.
he's like because the role of the president, right? What does he do? No matter what party, is like to protect the country. He's weakening. Like
He does
why?
everything to tear it down.
Yeah, and so it's like, wow, why would you make it easy for people to crash their airplanes? And why would you, and it's like, wow, he's basically a terrorist.
Hmm.
Like, and really sarcasm. Like I know people
The
say,
enemy within is our own
so
president.
yeah, so it's like a nightmare. It's almost like it's almost like is it even real? Okay. So, so, I'm so grateful, Granted, that you, sorry, I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that, no, that you are here with me because to deal with this monstrosity that is the situation.
No, I couldn't do it without you either.
So, like,
Lord knows.
I don't know what to say. So, but I feel the strength that we can talk. And I was telling Karina, like, before, just before, we were talking about something else just now. And I said, Karina, we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to go right into the reading, into the video today, because I just feel these things. I feel this strength to talk about it, even though it's so dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to
All
be
right.
a little challenging. Yes.
So, all right. So let's pause and let me just go find the basic news here about this, and then we'll get started. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. That I create the good and all the good. So it is. Okay. So guys, when I saw this news, it was like it's not right,
Mhm.
right? We know that.
Yes.
Also, there's something very dark about it.
Hmm.
And as I was just now getting the recording, the like screen sharing, talking to Karina, just like a couple minutes ago, I
Hmm.
already got something that there's something called it's a signal you can. I think the Russians have done this in some other parts of Europe where there's ways that you can kind of like it's like scrambling the radar, like you can cut the radar, the
Hmm.
key of the radar to kind of like then it loses, like it's like if you're flying, right? You need to know where you're going. But it's
Right.
some sort of electronic thing that will block the pilot from seeing what's going on, what's in the air. So that's what I got. That's what it was. And I think, and I see Putin's face. So as a terrorist attack, really, basically. But
Yeah.
it's, and I see the radar thing, like that there's a name for it. I forgot. It's like it scrambles the radar. There's a name for it. And and like and it was on purpose.
Hmm.
And I'm getting God. I'm sorry, please forgetting. Okay, allegedly, right? Or whatever. That I think Trump knew about it. It was going to happen. And and also because you know what's so strange. This is almost okay. Let me. I wanted to share, actually stop sharing because I forgot. This is the thing that I have so much going on. That's what I meant to say. The thing that I got bad feeling about was on that date. Like this just happened, right? Or last night. On
Hmm.
that very date, Trump had fired Coast Guard and the FAA people that are responsible for safe. Oh, it's saying they may have picked up the information. That's right. Doesn't make sense. It happened on the same day.
Wow.
Okay, so here it is. So okay, aviation DEI. What the hell is that? Okay, so does it make sense? And look at this,
Yeah,
how shady that is.
of
Okay, let me
course.
okay, let me look at this. So leaderless FAA begins investigation of Washington plane crash. Like they had fired the people. And it's like you could say, remember, Republicans, I think they don't like the agricultural agency, but this is like it's like a person who it's like they want people to die. Like
Yes, they do.
unfortunately,
Yes.
the former chief resigned 10 days ago after Elon Musk called for him to quit. So Michael Whitaker was it as to confirm. Okay, now on Wednesday night, a Black Hawk millet on Thursday, bodies were removed from Potomac Rivers at 67 Boulevard. The two aircraft were dead.
Oh my God.
So
This
okay,
is,
so
yep.
then look at this. On Thursday, Musk's clashes with the FAA and Whitaker were back in the headlines. Musk's anger grew from commercial interests, including competition with Boeing. Oh, and I have to say, this is also, okay, competition with Boeing for government contracts. In 2022, the FAA fined Starlink for violations of or safety protocol. Musk also said the agency needed radical reform and complained it was harassing space hacks. Now, the thing, guys, I've said this before, and it's very controversial, and this is coming up, and I have to say it again because it's being brought up.
Hmm.
Remember how again, this is controversial, I know that, but there were all these Boeing accidents recently, last few months.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of people related to Elon Musk, actually, that I followed on Twitter way before the election, started, oh, look at Boeing, look. And these people connected to Peter Thiel and all these so-called defense companies. This is what I'm gonna go out and say it. I think Bowen has been sabotaged. All these
Hmm.
things were done because it's very Russian slash whatever. I think they're trying to destroy Boeing. That's what I think. And the guy, the guy died. Remember, somebody died, but I think he died not because and they're trying to blame Boeing. Oh, it's them. They want to hide this. They want to hide that. I don't think it was them. I think it's somebody. They were insiders that were bribed or pushed or whatever to do because with something like an airplane, one tiny like part could
Yeah.
collapse the whole thing.
Right. Right.
So all it takes is somebody to go in and remove it. And so again, the fact that we see here Elon Musk and Boeing is a huge company that creates all sells all kinds of things.
Exactly.
So okay, so this to me is sabotage, it feels like, and
Hmm.
again, the fact
Hmm.
that he's around. So it feels like such darkness here. Okay.
Hmm.
So all right, so I don't even know where to start.
I know. That is
Yes.
just,
Let me just ask this. So first, okay, when I see this man, I'm gonna cover my screen. Muscovite. Okay, it's like, wow, we're dealing with like,
yeah,
right.
I know. It's
So, all right. So, okay, just 1 second.
really hard to look at.
Okay, so what happened, guys, is that I stopped the recording, right? Just to discuss a few things with Granna because I could pick up. It's so dark, the situation, that I wanted to kind of like do with something beforehand
Yeah.
and then go over it. So this is among I and Karina, please fill in the blanks if I forgot something because
Okay.
talked about it. So the thing about those airplane, yes, we picked up that it is related to Putin. I saw Putin's face, and when seeing like what's behind it, and the radar scramblers is something they have done in countries in Europe, and then we. And Karina started saying something like, "Oh yeah, they have horrible planes. I'm sorry, plans." And then I saw something. Um, Okay, they have our in place. And then I stopped her and I was like, we're not, we know they have her, like, right, because, and I said, but
Hmm.
the thing that we and I have to ask is how is this going to be stopped? And is it going to be stopped? Because that is the big concern. And at this point, guys, I like, in a way, it's like I've said, but I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Shut the F up. If you're saying,
Hmm.
anybody who's saying, shut the F up, because this is a serious time. You
Yeah.
can't, like you have to face it. Does it make sense? So it's kind of like, oh, like no, you have to like it's like imagine if you're a spiritual warrior of some sort. You can't be like, oh my God, there's bad people in the corner. You have to face them because the only way that to handle fear is to look at it in the eye.
Hmm.
Okay. Sorry, was it rude? Like it was rude.
No, no, no. It's true.
But but it's
These
like
times
these
we're
days
walking through.
they are scary. They're very
Hmm.
dark, but you can't look away. You have to like confront it and look into it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because and they'll be like, oh my God, no, no, you have to like first, your role is to look at the light and focus on the light and the good outcomes. Second, when you will see a situation like this, you face it, you look at it as it is. Okay. So,
Hmm.
so like this is not the time to like, no, you have to like kind of like think of yourself as like a spiritual, like a light warrior that you're not gonna back down. You cannot
Hmm.
back down because we're in
No,
it together, right?
right. Because the
So, okay,
darkness is trying to win. We
that's
can't let
right.
that
That's
happen.
right. So that's right. So then I see, and it's like you have to pay. This is the thing, because this is sort of like why I paused the recording or had talked about it because it is so dark. But it's saying, as I'm articulating all of this now, I'm getting that again. Your role is to see the thing that picture the thing you want to see. So them being caught, this whole thing being stopped. So when Green say, "Oh, they have these terrible plans," I said, "It doesn't matter what the plans are. We want to know what is the solution. How are they going to be stopped?" And so this is where we went with the conversation. And then I saw, like you, Quinn, has talked a lot about. Do you want to share the thing about NATO again? Right? Go ahead, because
Yeah,
you.
because I saw the connection with Russia immediately. It's basically Putin's plans, and Trump is allowing things to be carried out.
Mhm.
So NATO sees the connection with Russia because they carry this kind of stuff out all the time. So NATO to me is on top of um, acknowledging. Sorry,
It's okay. It's okay.
sorry. I just had a little distraction there, a doggy distraction.
Oh, okay.
So NATO sees the connection because they're used to these tactics. And that's to me what they're going to do. They got to go to Putin because
Mhm,
he's the one with the
mhm,
plan.
mhm,
Trump is the puppet allowing it to happen.
mhm.
He's allowing it to happen.
So, so the thing is, like, when we looked at it further, we saw, like, you saw, like, I saw them catching the Russians, not in the US, like outside, and
Right.
seeing this as, again, another, you know how they love airplanes, right? They've been planning it's been reported everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like in the box explosion somewhere, there's a box, it's like, and what I got, as you were talking now, Corinne, I got this saying that Putin told, you don't have any power to stop, we're just going to go ahead and do it. That's what he was telling Trump. I think Putin warned him even this is going to happen. And like so then Trump was like, oh, no, no, nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. So imagine if somebody in the was like, yeah, it's like Osama bin Laden. Oh, sure, go ahead, Osama. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. That's
Yeah.
not that different. So,
Yeah.
so again, I see then this was interesting. So then I want to ask, how is this going to be? When is this going to stop? And then I had a vision, you too, right? I saw Trump
Mhm.
being arrested and handcuffed. And you saw it too, right? I mean, again,
Yeah.
guys, I know it sounds crazy, but look at what we're living through. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know exactly how, but what I see that I think is possible is that if NATO reveals this publicly, it puts Trump in a very awkward situation.
Hmm.
And does it make sense, Karina? Right? That's kind of like
Yeah.
what, okay,
Yeah.
what
That.
is like what is shady about it? Because I think they're imagine, and I think, and I was saying to Corina, I don't know if we saw it, talked about it live here, but the fact that Trump fired the FAA people was
Hmm.
yesterday or whenever it was, I got the impression also that he fired those people knowing that this was gonna I think it was right before this happened, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So, right, Greta, so let's ask. So, okay, so what happened here? Let's see. Tell me about the situation. Do we get anything else about it? Oh, I see that there's the military is aware of it because we're under attack. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
see we're under attack.
Well, and I think that's where that black box comes in that I saw, and the helicopter, the Blackhawk's black box. There is some information on there.
That's right. Go ahead, talk more about it. Go ahead.
There's something with their something that they said as it was happening, which will validate what did happen. So there's something about the black box that they'll get some good information on that will help. And that since it was a military plane or a military Black Hawk helicopter, actually I get that that was actually I'm so sorry to say. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but having that black box of that Black Hawk helicopter for some reason is very important.
Mm, mm.
That's where I feel like the information
Okay.
is.
So they're like, okay, it's okay to say this. So Corinna, I'm gonna say something here. You know that, okay, so it's okay, we'll say, I think it's,
Yes,
it's okay to,
we were told to say this
that's
because
right.
it's so
So,
important.
and this one we hadn't even discussed, but it's coming out, and I feel good about saying this. So,
Okay.
guys, when we first started, Corinne and I, in the first days after the election, we had these conversations, of course, for a while. Like, we usually have a conversation for like an hour, sometimes more longer, even at the beginning when we were like trying to figure this out. And then we record a video. Sometimes it's also an hour, right? So one of the times, Karina, I don't know if I think Karina even had this vision while we're not talking. Like sometimes she records. Like remember, Karina, you said
Hmm.
something. So she had told me because that's what I'm on. So in other words, when I just saw this time now that I said the military is taking over, is looking into this. Now it's no longer because we're under attack, right? Technically.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then it took me back, Karina, to that vision you had. And by the way, we didn't share with you guys consciously. I
Right.
asked, like, let's not share it because it seemed like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, right, Karina, it just seemed like
Hard
too
to
much.
believe.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to scare people. Like, we don't want to scare
Right.
or give too much information that seems kind of like too. But what Karina said at the time is that Trump goes into the military, like, for some sort of meeting. And that's when they show everything. Like, here's what we have about you. This is it. This is this is that. And when you said, and remember, then we said he's arrested.
At the
He's taken.
Pentagon. Yeah. Hmm.
And that's when I think this is what you're talking about, Karina. This is the moment of like it is all we. I don't know. Do you pick up? Because I just
I'm getting chills up my
right.
whole body as you're saying it.
Yes, because I
I
see that they're
yeah.
like, there's people, it's like you cannot do this. And I see, I'm not to protect like, but I'm saying there's people even who are Peter Thiel's type people that they're still pro-US, so they will stop it. Like they will join the team. Not every single person is as bad as Musk and others. So
Right.
that is when he goes to the thing, and then they're like, listen, instead of the meeting about it's like, oh, here's what we have, this is that, da, 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 da. And since it's there's a panel somewhere like safe, really safe, you can't just run away. You know
It's
what
the
I'm saying?
Pentagon. Yeah.
You can't just
Yeah.
like, you know, because and that's when I see Biden's face. Like again, I don't think that Biden is and it's not about Biden right now, but it's about this vision that ultimately and you say yes, Rosie, you could say we are under attack, but it's not gonna last for that long. But it's saying there's 20 days of a lot of confusion, but it will settle. It will settle and it's say, oh, interesting, because I'm planning a trip in March. I've already bought the ticket, long story, but and it's saying you'll be okay by the time you leave. You will be safe.
Hmm.
Do
Which
you
we
get the
thought
same
of.
thing,
Yeah.
Karina?
Yeah. Remember I told you by the time you go, we had talked
Oh,
about that.
something else. Okay, Karina, I hope it's okay for me to say it.
You're fine. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
I don't,
talk about you. I'm talking about Karina,
that's okay.
her face. Karina sometimes has insecurities. Like she's like, oh, where is it? I don't know. And why, like, I don't know. I don't get this detail like you have and stuff. But Karina always like I told you guys, maybe because I don't know. I don't think it's just she knows me, and so she says things that I don't want to hear, right? Well, so I was gonna go on this trip in February. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And she's like, Rosie, you know what? I think March is better. March is better. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then and then one of the people supposed to meet, like I was like, oh, suggested March. So I was like, okay, I went March because she said she always said like, Rosie, no, February is too. February is a little chaotic. February is a little chaotic. February is a little chaotic. And then now, it's remember Karina used to say things
Yeah.
that about like even the guy, oh, I like Rosie. I understand you like him, that's great, but it's not the person for you, okay? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, and I used to say that, oh, Karina just doesn't want me to see it. Like she's not, whatever. And every single thing, Karina, seriously, she would say to me that happened, right? Like that. So this then I was again to connect to these two things that February is a chaotic month to not try. I guess I can say this, guys. If not, don't can we just say don't travel, right? Kind of like
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
avoid traveling.
February is a dark month.
And
Yeah.
March, it will be okay. And it's saying, yes, Rosie, you'll be fine. And no, there's not going to be delays. There's not going to be, you're safe. But it may be that in February. That's right. Remember how we saw that they would close the airspace at some point?
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's right. It could be at some point in February.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what?
So too.
Interesting. Oh, that's right. So,
Yeah. And it is interesting because that vision I had, I do have it on recording because I think I did record it and send it to you. But it's ironic that it came back to me about a week and a half ago. So
mhm.
maybe that's a good sign because That's exactly how it could go down. Him at the Pentagon, like I'd seen. What is it? Sorry, Toby is all over me right now, so this must be, he must pick up the February stuff.
Mm.
Yes, my dog's a little psychic. He knows when we're talking about this stuff.
Let me see if I can read what he has to say. Show me
I,
what is he here if I can
what
pick up what's
his
it what
answer
he's thinking. Let's
is
see. Not he's
really,
thinking, but what is it? It's like, no, Rosie. I get, get close to you guys to kind of, it's like, I'm a highlighter, he's saying. I'm a highlighter. I come near just to confirm that that's the right, kind of like you're on the right path. It's like, that's what I'm saying. And he's saying, I'm closing closer to Greener to say that you guys, you're going to be safe. It's going to be a tough time, but we're going to be safe, is what. It's like they're not, it's weird. Am I really,
yeah.
are you really, do you know who Vladimir Putin is?
Oh, did you
Hot
hear?
dog.
Did you
Ay,
hear him?
did you
He
bark
was
when I
speaking.
said
He was
Putin?
speaking to you. He goes, "Arr."
Yeah.
You speak.
You know Vladimir? Oh, you know Vladimir?
He to talk to her.
No,
Yes.
I
What do you
know
need?
him.
What do
He's
you
a
need to
little
say
dog.
to people?
Little
What do you
dog.
need to say?
That's
What do you
right.
need?
I don't like. He's like, I
Tell
don't like
him.
him. No, no, that's
Tell
right.
him, Toby. Tell everybody it's going to be okay.
No, that's right. Okay. No, okay. So Gordon, I'm getting. So I'm getting. No, seriously, the message. I know it sounds crazy that I'm like reading the dog with the dog, but the vibe is like it's this. It's like he's saying that we're gonna be okay, and he does not like see when I say, "Oh, I'm my name is Vladimir. You don't like me, too," and he he says that like he doesn't like it. He responds. He could tell that we're talking about something kind of bad.
Yeah, he wants my attention. He doesn't. He's
That's
never
right.
done. He's
So
dropping the ball at my feet and everything. He's
wow,
never done that when
that's
I'm
right.
talking.
So that's right. And he's like, wow. And it's saying that, okay, I know guys don't get scared. Okay. You know how there's this a lot of stories about dogs, like when there's a fire, the dog will wake up the owner to like leave. But he's saying, I'm here, it's gonna be okay.
Hmm.
But so does Corinne have to know it's not, I don't see like a huge terror, like other than this. Like, but we got it doesn't make sense going. It's sort of like
Yeah.
it's so the bottom line is like his message is I'm here for you guys. I'm the guardian.
Mm.
As this stuff is happening, we're gonna be safe. But the bad people will know who how dogs, they always don't know who the bad people are.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, he does. He
That's
does.
so then the same thing he's saying he knows what Vladimir is, what he's about.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
us. So anyway, but going back here to this military story. So Corinna, right, I remember this well that you said it. And at the time I remember telling you, well, but Trump, like, why would at the time before he was elected, right? I thought,
Right.
why would he go to he was not elected yet? I wouldn't think he was gonna be like I didn't think he was gonna be elected. But now it makes sense if he's is the so-called, he stole himself the job, right?
Hmm.
He's like, oh, I'm a president or whatever. Oh, because they want to know, they want to discuss the changes with him about this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
They
so
have to get him to the Pentagon somehow, if that's
yeah,
where they do it. But to me, that's the most
yeah, and
logical place,
I
and
do
that's where I
think,
saw it happening.
that like, and again, guys, get dates or whatever, because I don't see this staying for very long,
No,
right?
I don't either, but I do feel February being a very dark month,
That's
and I have, and I've
that's
said
right.
that
But
before.
what I mean by that, Quinn, is like, what I mean by that is like, this is the it kind of had to come out like that in a way. I know it sounds awful, but it's sort of like we're seeing the depths of depravity. And I
It
swear, I'm telling you, like,
exactly.
or I'm telling you, I know it's not that I'm defending anybody, but I'm just saying, even the people that are like Muscovites or whatever, not everybody is like completely brainwashed. They may do something as well to protect the
Right.
country because that's very, very serious. Okay.
And it affects them too. It affects their bottom line in the end, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And so not everybody wants that to happen. It's just not okay.
Mm.
Kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but
So that's that corner, right? Like
but you
that's
know, I think it has to happen and sadly there are things that we have to see ourselves, especially even in this own country, to wake people up to this atrocity. It's like, you know, when we did that vision where we looked at what was to come and we said that everybody was coming out of this like stupor, like just overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I can't believe what was happening. And, you know, we're pretty much going to see that because we have to see what this man and this all these other men are capable of. We have to wake up to this and put a stop to it somehow. We
Mm-hmm.
just can't, we can't have a, we can't have a normal, decent society if we allow this to continue. It just isn't possible.
Wow. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I'm trying to locate here, Karina. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, no, no. I'm because I know I have this somewhere. But let's see, maybe if
What
you
are you looking for?
for the audio, you know how you said I
Oh,
know you have
okay. Yeah, I
if
have
you
it
have
listed,
the
I think.
audio somehow, Karina, let's see. February, but it's not telling me exactly.
It was right in the very first week, I think. I got
That's
that.
right, but I don't know because it's hard to go back to all the texting,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
You
I have
have this
it in
link. Okay.
my voice
So
record.
anyway, so I think ultimately, so I guess because the audience may be startled by all of this that we're saying. So what do we, I mean, we're recording, of course, but what does Spirit, let's ask like this. What does Spirit want the audience to know about this? Wow, it's saying that I see that there's the darkness from below, from the sea or something coming up. This is a darkness. It's the Plutonian energy. I think it's or is it not? There's something about the dark to depth. This is coming up. In the past, this would have been more hidden, but it's not. So what is happening is like we're seeing the depravity of this man and of what a lot of Americans have chosen to do, just to betray the country for whatever reason. It doesn't matter their ideology or why they think this is justified. So, oh, I see here they sent. So, so, so this is why we have to see it, like you said it, so that, and it's say, how, Quinn, are you there? Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, no, because I'm getting, how a lot of people are like, oh, but what about the Trumpsters? Like, nobody is going to be pro when they find out this stuff, when it's
Yeah,
seen,
I think they're
it's
already
not.
regretting, most of them are regretting their
Hmm.
decision. There's going
Oh,
to be
okay.
some that, yeah, they're already regretting a lot of their
Hmm.
decisions because of what he's doing, because
Okay.
they don't think it's going to happen to them, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And I've had that, witnessed it in my own life where it's not going to happen to me. And then all of a sudden they're crying the blues because it's happening to them.
That's right.
So, I think, like I said before, everything they've done is so horrific that once it does come out, you know, there's not going to be anybody that can look at that
Hmm.
and not say it's horrific. And
Hmm.
if you can, then you need to go to Guantanamo with them,
Hmm.
as far as I'm
Okay, okay.
concerned.
So, wow. Okay, so just one second. Okay, guys. So I'm talking to Karina now, and just we're gonna wrap up the video for this moment. But she found the audio, and the title of the audio is "Trump Take Down Pentagon." November. So it was on. She saw this on November 13th, 2024. So we're sharing that. It's about 10 minutes long. So that's very interesting, and then I think it's interesting that, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, that I'm still tomorrow I'm going to do the video finally of the research of the election. And there's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to I don't want to get into a lot of, I know there's this weird confirmations and all that. I don't want to focus, like he said this, no. We want to focus. It's like, isn't that weird, Karina, how nowadays I used to have so many different types of news, right? But now it's like focused on one thing, one
Yes.
lately, right? Because we have to chunk things and we have to focus on the thing that matters the most because this thing is absolutely horrific. Okay, what
Mm-hmm.
happened? So
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
so this is that. So we'll see. I'm gonna share this that Karina shared right back then.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I said, like, I remember telling Karina, like, I don't want people to be scared or whatever, or like it seemed like I said, a little impossible. But now, right?
Yeah, now it
Yes.
seems like it could be possible.
Right. So, okay. So is that it? Couldn't any more? No. Oh, and I get John McCain say clapping. Yes, that's right, Rose. That's right. But they're gonna take. That's right. Wow. And McCain's like could have been me, the helicopter pilot, right? Or is that airplane or something, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was
So
an
could have been me.
airplane and a Blackhawk
Mhm.
helicopter.
So wow. Okay.
Yeah, not only civilians but military, and
Hmm.
he's allowing it to happen.
Oh, that's right. And
That's
that's
that's treason.
oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. exactly.
Hmm.
And it's saying because it's the military, technically it's a war situation.
Right.
So
That,
they're attacking our military.
yeah.
So
Which,
wow.
if, they did get him, it would make sense that it would be at the Pentagon.
Mm, wow. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So all right. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. So I'm gonna stop here, and then right, we'll stop here
Yep.
and add
Okay.
the audio. Okay.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll come back tomorrow. Okay.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hi, Rosie. I wanted to pass along another vision that I received last night, and that would have been, the date would have been 11/13/24, and today's the 14th. So anyway, I was asking the universal energies for another image or some information. And so I asked the divine, please send me another message. And I asked for something very specific. I wanted to see some very specific detail on how they may get Trump. And, they know they can trust me with information. Doesn't come out until it's ready. So, and I asked specifically for images because I see, I hear, I feel, I get stories, I get words, I get numbers, I get songs, I get movies, I get energy, I feel the energy, I get impressions. And so I specifically asked for images. So I sat here for a few minutes and nothing came through. And my dog came running in and jumped on me and lost my train of thought. And as he went away, I remembered a question I wanted to go, ask for us to go over. And it had to do with the military in our area. We live close to an Air Force base, and we're in the foothills. So when they take off, they always fly over our area. So there's been a lot of activity with their fighter jets this last week. And so I wanted to see if maybe there was any connection. And as I was writing that, I received an image. And I recognized the shape. I'm sorry. And so anyway, I received another image after that, and it was much clearer. And I recognized it as what I thought it looked like an aerial shot of the Pentagon. So I Googled an aerial shot of the Pentagon, and it was exactly the image that I had in my head. And then I saw a football, and it was glowing green. So and don't they call it, they do call the nuclear, it's like the nuclear football or something like that. And to me, glowing green would mean nuclear. So I immediately knew it was the Pentagon. And as soon as that realization came to me, oh my God, I started to feel the gravity of the situation. And I could feel both sides of it. I started to panic, and I started to feel the power of the Pentagon and the military and how there's that power. But I also felt fear and panic. And that's how they're going to get him. That's how they're going to get him. They showed me a scene where they're going to tell him it's time to go. And I heard your words, where it's time to debrief you now on everything that's going on in the country. So he thinks he's going in. There's that golden key, his little tiny hand's reaching for. It's almost there. He thinks I did it. I'm this close. They're going to give me all the information. Oh my God. And then I saw him in this big room, long table. They sit him down. And you know how the other day I said there's so much evidence, it's like they could make wallpaper? Well, that's what I saw. There's evidence all over. And he doesn't even know, he's not noticing anything like that yet. I'm just seeing it. And so they set him down at this table, and then all of a sudden the doors open, and filtering in comes all these men in military. And oh my God, it was just this powerful scene. And they're lining the perimeter of the room, and he thinks it's for his honor. They're honoring him. Are you kidding me? He thinks they're honoring him. And then here comes, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. Here comes the white glove on the shoulder. And the white glove goes on the shoulder, and I hear, "Sir, you're going to need to open that folder that's in front of you." And as soon as he hears that, it kicks in. And I can feel him starting to panic inside. And he's looking at the room around him, and they're not what he saw before, his arrogance. He saw that they're here to honor me. But this time he looks up and he can see it in their faces. They're like mannequins. They're so expressionless that it even scares the hell out of him, and he's soulless. So I hear, "Sir, you're going to need to open that folder." So he opens the folder, and he knows he's done for. Whatever they showed him, which I think I know I've seen it before, and you and I have it recorded on another tape. He knows what he is seeing, he's done for. And then he looks around. It's a room full of evidence, documents. He thinks he was seeing all this new information that he could sell and get rid of. It's all evidence against him. And that's how they get him. That is how they get him. And I immediately heard they're not going to get him at Mar-a-Lago because of the logistics of it. They couldn't keep it as secretive as getting him at the Pentagon. They want to do it on their territory, the power of the Pentagon and the military. And I could feel that. Oh my gosh, it was so intense, the panic. And the crazy part is, after that scene and the panic subsided in me, I felt relief. He felt relief. He was actually relieved. And I'm like, what the heck? He was more petrified of Putin than he is rotting away in some military jail/hospital like you've always seen all along, which I totally agree with you. You've seen that for 7 years now. So he knows that's where he would go. And at this point, he probably has a feeling that's going to be his best place to be. And then it showed me actually a funny image of, do you know how he always, I guess, was afraid of, sharks and being electrocuted? I saw Putin and him having this conversation, and it's like a scene from one of the Austin Powers movies. They're in this, down in this lair, and there's a shark pit in front of him, and he's across the shark pit from Shark Tank from Putin, and there's an electric chair right next to Putin, and Putin doesn't say a word about the sharks or the chair. Nothing. It is just a pure intimidation tactic, and he's talking to him like, Donnie, my boy, now you know when you get in there from day one, you're gonna do this and this and this. And it would be a shame if you don't get that stuff done, because you know what happens to people like that. And he's not saying a word about the sharks or the electrocution, but that's all Trump can focus on. And he is panicked. He is petrified of what Putin will do to him. So he's actually relieved to be arrested this way, because he feels like this would be an easier path for him. So, wow, that's kind of crazy. But I could totally see that, because he's a coward. So, not that he's going to have the country club life, but he would have probably a way more country club life than dealing with Putin. So, even in a prison/hospital. So anyway,